Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? For those of you live, welcome. For those of you who are watching this on a recording on LinkedIn or Facebook or our YouTube channel, welcome. Hope that your day, your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you are and whenever you are, hope things are good. Welcome to another of our quick take networking supercharges that we're doing as we get ready for the launch of the updated versions of Networking in the 21st Century and Networking in the 21st Century on LinkedIn. That's right, 2 books. And they're coming out tomorrow, right? So we're one day before launch day. Super excited to be talking to my guest, Darcy Eikenberg, today. Darcy is not only a good friend, she's a badass trainer and coach and speaker, author as well. She's got a new book coming out in the next couple of weeks. You'll have to take a look for that. And of course, she's a fellow Wildcat. So always got to represent for my alumni. So Darcy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Congratulations on the book and everything you got going on. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. As we were talking before we hit live, it's been great. It's been exciting. A lot of work. I know why, people had publishing companies to help them do all this stuff.
Right. My mom always says, well, why did it take you so long to write your book? Looks like James Patterson puts one out every year. It's kind of a different land, right?
Right. And talk about his editors, and marketing people and publicists. Yeah, we get to do it all ourselves. Well, I know you're somebody who's super connected, so I'm really excited to have you on to ask the simple question that we've been asking everybody. What one activity has had the biggest impact on the quality of your network?
For me, the biggest activity really has been accelerating appreciation. What I've
All right,
found.
that's cool. I was explaining this. I love this. All right, explain this to me. No, it's great.
Okay. So maybe it's not a tactic as much as it is a perspective or something I'm always hunting for. I just think that so often in our lives at work and when we're thinking about networking or the things that, make us think, oh, we need to do more networking, all we hear is what we haven't done or what's broken or what's wrong, even in our own lives, even when we're feeling great about our careers, that we don't always really look at all the stuff that's good. So for networking, I guess I'll call it a strategy. I'm always looking at what's going well with people and being able to magnify that and to comment on it. And, tools like LinkedIn make it easy to find different things. You get notifications of a new job, someone's published somewhere, and just the few minutes that it takes to make a comment to say, that's great, especially like for a new job. Right. I don't really like to do the automated buttons, congrats or whatever, the badly punctuated buttons. That drives me crazy.
Right.
I don't know if it's just me, but to actually take a minute and say, well deserved, well earned, your company is so lucky to have you. This is great. I know you've been working on that. Just to take a little minute, but to show people not just thank you or congratulations, but to kind of magnify that you actually see them. And I think that's so human. We all just want to be seen. Right?
I love that. And I would actually go so far as to say that is both a strategy and a tactic. In fact, one of the things that has been an interesting theme in all of the conversations we've had over this month is how many people have really shared mindsets versus the tactics. And I think that's something I want to highlight because a lot of times people come to networking thinking, oh, there's just this one tactic or this right way of saying something or doing, this perfect introduction or email. That's the secret. Where really it is, I think the foundation has to be the mindsets you bring to what you're doing. So I love this idea that it's this mindset of just connecting on a human level and using appreciation. And I love what you said there. It's like, we just want to be noticed. Right. And
the truth is it works in so many business situations. I mean, again, if we're getting back to being in person, just being able to, and not in an insincere way, but if it's like, right. Someone has an interesting pin or you saw them hold the door open for somebody. These are little things that, I have made lots of really good friends and connections in business and in life just by being the one to call that out. I saw what you did there. That was really nice. What a kind thing to do. And,
Yeah.
I think it makes you feel good too when we can call out more good things that are happening in the world and with the people around us, whether we know them very well yet or not.
I love that. And it's also kind of why I think it's a strategy, but also a tactic. Like you can just go like, how can I go out today? Or whether it's how can I go out today? How can I be on LinkedIn? How can I be at this event? How can I go to this conference? Or really just how do I go into networking? And instead of thinking, okay, I've got to get something from it, it's like, how am I going to just notice and appreciate people around me? I mean, that's what I love LinkedIn for, just the ability to say, hey, that's congratulations on the new role, or even that's a great article you wrote, or sometimes, hey, thank you for posting that piece of content. That was a really interesting insight that helped me out. People love that. I used to kind of jokingly, but I think it was also there's some sincerity to it. People would laugh that I was the guy who noticed ties. And this is going back a couple of years when we were definitely more in person, a little more, but if you're at a business conference, guys, we don't have a lot of place for flair in our outfits, but, and it wasn't just everybody's tie, but there'd be guys who I'm like, yeah, you could tell you like that tie, you chose it. And you'd be like, hey man, nice tie. And the strange thing is so many times we'll be like, thanks, cause they picked that tie out and they think they look good.
There's a story behind the tie. There's a story behind the
Right.
the antique looking brooch that your friend is wearing, or the funky shoes, or
Mhm.
whatever, the scarf. I mean, there's a story around that. And I think too, yeah, like you, I'm a LinkedIn fan, and I I have people say sometimes, like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to share. And I always go back to start with appreciation. I mean, start with thank you, or
Yes.
pull out something in your company. I'm so proud of, so and so in our company, at tag so and so,
Mhm.
who just got this award or that award. I mean, we all need people like that in our lives. And I know I always remember those people who do that for me. And, hopefully that I'm remembered when I do that for people. But it's if
Right.
you're looking for something to share, like, brag on somebody else. I mean, I think we need to learn how to brag on ourselves, but it's sometimes it's easier to start with bragging on somebody else.
That's true. And I love that idea of bragging on people. In fact, I will share for me, as someone who does post a lot of content on LinkedIn, who is, quote unquote content creator, my go-to, if I can't think of anything, if I'm like, I got to post something today, but I just don't know what, is always, I ask myself, who have I interacted with in the last week that I can give a shout out to, right? Whether it's literally somebody who was, serving me, like maybe somebody who did some design work for me or whatever, or just somebody who I think is awesome, like somebody in my network who's doing cool things. And I'll, give them a shout out and be like, hey, you should follow so-and-so, or you should connect with them. They're awesome. And I think to all of this is something you touched on, which is important, is this, it's authentic, right? You can't just BS it. But at the same time, I would say that no matter your relationship or your connection with the person, and you don't even have to know them that well, you can find something you're authentically like appreciative of, right?
Right. Mhm. Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be complex.
And even the the names, the celebrities or what have you. I mean, they're people too. They notice, or their teams notice, like, who are who are the fans? Who are the people who are amplifying and sharing their stuff? And I always think too, sharing someone's ideas further, or giving them a shout out on LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or wherever, or in real life,
Yeah.
saying, hey, have you, I just want to say thank you to the organizers of this day, because we wouldn't be here without these volunteer people from this association, right? I mean,
Hmm.
finding those ways to accelerate appreciation. But even the people that, your CEO, people will look and people notice, and it's a way to not only be memorable, but also to send a message about, here are the things that I care about, here are the types of
Right.
issues that I want to share with other people.
Right. I love that. And it also makes me think of the people who just, whether it's online or offline, really struggle with networking because they think that it has to be an even exchange. Right. And so they go, well, I want to network, but I don't know what I'd give. Like I hear this a lot, especially from younger professionals who are like, I don't have, all these connections that I can make, introductions, et cetera, et cetera. But all of us can give appreciation, right? This is what's great is you can give no matter the situation. And that I think I love that. It also made me think of a great thing to take that LinkedIn concept we're talking about, bringing it into the offline world. When you're introducing people, and I've seen, I don't think I'm a master of this, but I've seen people who are, and it's always awesome to watch. Like they'll be introducing two people, and in the introduction, they're like, "Hey, let me introduce you to Darcy." I could be like, she, runs this thing called Red Cape Revolution, blah, blah. Or I could be like, let me introduce you to Darcy. Here's what she is great at, right? And boom, so that. And let me introduce you to Bob. Here's what he is great at. Okay, you should do, right? It's such a great value add for both those individuals, and then their relationship starts at such a great place, right?
Yeah. And the truth is, I've had people say, well, I'm afraid that I'm going to say something that's wrong or that other people won't agree with. But the point is, it's your opinion. It's your perspective. You can't be wrong when it's coming from your point of view. Others can certainly disagree. But if you say, I appreciate you because I noticed that, you picked up the leftover cups in the room after the networking event so that the wait staff didn't have to. Other people might say, well, that's not that's my opinion.
Yeah. And I think it is a great thing to notice.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Right. So
I love
it's
that.
always good for us to go out of our way to appreciate others and without any need for reciprocation. But it does come back because most people will say thank you, or they might be inspired to look a little harder at what they can appreciate. Maybe it's not you, but maybe it's somebody else. So, I always say somebody out there needs you. You may not know exactly who it is, but that little act of kindness and appreciation in you might start a whole snowball with somebody else.
I love that. I mean, to bring full circle in networking in the 21st century, I call it networking karma. You just got to put it out there, and it might not come back to you from where you expect it to, but it will come back if you put it out in the first place. So
true.
Darcy, I love this. If you want to find out more about the amazing work that Darcy is doing at the Red Cape Revolution, find her on LinkedIn. And I went out of my way to make sure I could find the link. Where is it? Here it is. All right.
I think I'm the only Darcy Eikenberg. So yeah.
You are the opposite of me. There are many David Fishers, but only one D Fish. Right. Well, except for the guy in the NBA, and he owes me some royalties. I was here first. But definitely connect with her, follow her. She's putting out great material on LinkedIn, and she's got a ton of resources. Check those out online. And of course, tomorrow is the big launch day. If you're watching this on a recording, my guess is it's already live, but both books, Networking in the 21st Century and Networking in the 21st Century, are available on Amazon print, hardcover, paperback, and of course, Kindle. Thank you so much for spending a few times with us today. Darcy, thank you for the great insights. And everybody, we'll talk to you tomorrow for our next Networking Supercharge. Bye.
Thank you. Congrats on the book.
Thank you.